The deep hum of the USS Horizon's engines filled the bridge as Commander Eric Turner stared at the view screen. The planet below them was a scorched wasteland. Buildings lay in ruins. Vast forests had been burned to ash. Something terrible had happened here, and Eric had a sinking feeling they were about to find out what. "Any life signs, Lieutenant Wright?" Eric asked, not taking his eyes off the devastation. Alan Wright shook his head. "Nothing, sir. Whatever happened here, it was thorough." Dr. Olivia Clark walked onto the bridge, her usually neat brown hair disheveled from hours of analyzing data. "Commander, you need to see this." She tapped at her tablet and images appeared on the main screen. "These aren't war damages. These are hunting patterns." "Hunting?" Eric leaned forward. "You mean someone did this for sport?" "Exactly." Olivia pointed to a series of scorch marks. "See how they form channels? Whatever lived here was herded, cornered, and then—" She didn't need to finish the sentence. The communications console beeped. "Sir, we're receiving a distress call," said Officer Ben Murphy. "It's weak, but it's coming from the dark side of the planet's moon." "Set a course," Eric ordered, "and keep weapons ready. If there are hunters out there, I don't want to be caught unprepared." The Horizon glided silently around the moon's dark side. There, partially hidden in a crater, sat a small ship. Its hull was punctured in several places and it emitted a faint blue glow. "Scan it," Eric ordered. 4 life forms aboard," Alan reported. "Non-human. Technology level similar to our own." "Open a channel," Eric said. "This is Commander Eric Turner of the Earth vessel USS Horizon. We received your distress call. Can we offer assistance?" The screen flickered to life, showing a thin, pale blue alien with large, dark eyes. "Thank the stars," the alien said in a translator-aided voice. "I am Captain Zeal of the Thelian scientific vessel Starlight. You must leave this system immediately. The Virexians will return soon." "Virexians?" Olivia asked, stepping forward. "The hunters. They destroyed the colony on the planet. We escaped, but they damaged our engines. They'll be back to finish their hunt." Eric's jaw tightened. "We can help repair your ship or take you aboard ours." "You don't understand." Fear made Captain Zeal's voice tremble. "The Virexians don't just hunt for food. They hunt for sport, for dominance. They've conquered 7 systems this way. No one has ever stopped them." A warning alarm blared across the bridge. "Multiple ships entering the system," Alan reported, his voice tense. "They're moving fast, sir." "Can we outrun them?" Eric asked. "Negative," Ben replied from his station, "and they're not responding to hails." "Get the Thelians aboard now," Eric ordered. "We'll tractor their ship if we have to." Olivia grabbed his arm. "Commander, if these Virexians are as dangerous as Captain Zeal says, shouldn't we retreat?" Eric looked at the scanner showing 5 large ships approaching rapidly. "We'd never make it to the jump point before they caught us. Better to face them. Here where we have the moon for cover." Within minutes, the Thelians were aboard and the Horizon took position behind the moon. Captain Zeal joined them on the bridge, his blue skin looking even paler under the ship's lights. "They'll find us," Zeal whispered. "They always do." "Tell me about these Virexians," Olivia said. "I'm a xenobiologist. Anything you know could help us." As Zeal spoke, the bridge crew grew increasingly uneasy. The Virexians were tall, powerful, creatures with thick scales and powerful jaws. They hunted in packs using advanced technology to track and trap their prey, but what made them truly terrifying was their psychology. They had evolved as apex predators with no natural enemies. The concept of fear was alien to them. "They can't be reasoned with," Zeal finished. "To them, all other species are simply prey." The ship suddenly rocked violently. "They've found us," Alan shouted. 3 ships circling around the moon." "Evasive maneuvers," Eric ordered. "Get us out of the gravity well." The Horizon shot upward, engines straining. On the view screen, they saw their pursuers for the first time. The Virexian ships were sleek and predatory, painted with red markings that looked disturbingly like blood splatter. "They're targeting our engines," Ben reported as another blast rocked the ship. "Return fire," Eric ordered. "Target their weapon systems only. I want to disable, not destroy. The Horizon's lasers struck one of the Virexian ships, causing minimal damage. In response, all 3 enemy vessels increased their attack. They're toying with us, Zeal said, gripping a console for support. This is how they hunt. They'll damage our ship just enough to make us vulnerable, then board us. Not if I can help it, Eric muttered. Alan, prepare the jump drive for a short-range jump. Ben, divert all power to shields for the next 30 seconds. As the crew hurried to obey, Olivia pulled Eric aside. I need tissue samples if we encounter any Virexians. Their biology might hold the key to finding a weakness. Eric nodded grimly. Let's hope it doesn't come to close contact. The ship shuddered as another blast hit them. Shields at 40%, Alan reported. On my mark, Eric said, watching the enemy ships close in. 3, 2, 1, jump. The horizon disappeared in a flash of light, reappearing 3 million kilometers away behind a small asteroid field. Damage report, Eric called out. Engine 2 is offline, Ben replied. Life support stable, shields recharging. They'll track us, Zeal warned. The jump only buys us minutes. Eric turned to Olivia. Doctor, you have those minutes to learn everything you can about the Virexians from Captain Zeal. I need a weakness, anything we can use. As Olivia led Zeal to the science lab, Eric stared at the tactical display. The Virexian ships were already changing course, heading directly for their position. Sir, Alan said quietly, I've analyzed their attack pattern. They could have crippled us several times, but they didn't. Captain Zeal is right, they're treating this like a hunt. Eric's eyes narrowed. Then it's time they learned that humans aren't such easy prey. In fact, he said as a plan began forming in his mind, perhaps it's time for the hunters to experience being hunted. In the science lab, Olivia analyzed the biological data Zeal had provided. Her eyes widened as she made a startling discovery. These readings can't be right, she muttered. According to this, Virexians have no biological fear response. Their adrenal system doesn't activate in danger situations the way ours does. It's true, Zeal confirmed. They've never needed to fear anything. They've always been the predators, never the prey. Olivia looked up, a glint in her eye. Well, that's about to change. Humans evolved alongside some of the deadliest predators. On our planet, we know what it means to be hunted, and we've learned how to hunt in return. She rushed back to the bridge with her findings, just as the first Virexian ship appeared at the edge of the asteroid field. The hunt was on. But this time, Earth's deadliest predators were ready to fight back. The USS Horizon shook as another blast struck its hull. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. Commander Eric Turner gripped his chair as the ship dove between 2 massive asteroids. Shields at 20%, Alan reported, his fingers flying across the control panel. We can't take much more of this, sir. We need somewhere to hide and regroup, Eric said. He studied the star map and pointed to a small moon orbiting a gas giant. There, heavy jungle cover and atmospheric interference. It might give us a chance to make repairs. The ship changed course, diving toward the green moon. Behind them, 3 Virexian ships followed in tight formation. They're not even trying to hide their approach, Ben noted from his station. It's like they want us to see them coming. Of course they do, said Dr. Greg Martinez, who had joined them on the bridge. As Earth's leading expert on predator psychology, he had been analyzing the Virexians' behavior. They enjoy the fear. In their prey. It's part of the hunt for them. Eric nodded grimly. Well, let's not give them the satisfaction. The horizon plunged into the moon's thick atmosphere. Storm clouds crackled with purple lightning around them. The ship's damaged. Engine groaned in protest. We can't stay airborne much longer, Ben warned. Engine 2 is about to fail completely. Find us a landing spot, Eric ordered. Something defensible. Samantha Kelly, the ship's chief survival specialist, pointed to a clearing near a river, Bend. There, sir. High ground on 3 sides, water access and dense jungle for cover. The horizon landed with a bone-jarring thud. Emergency systems kicked in as the main power flickered and died. Damage report, Eric called out. Engine 2 is dead, Ben replied. Engine 1 needs at least 12 hours of repairs. Life support is on emergency power. Communications are spotty. Eric turned to the assembled crew. The Virexians will be landing soon. We need a defense plan and fast. Dr. Martinez stepped forward. Commander, I've been studying what we know about the Virexians. Fighting them directly would be suicide, but we might have another option. He looked at Samantha Kelly. Chief Kelly, you specialized in jungle warfare, correct? Sam nodded. Her short blonde hair was damp with sweat, but her blue eyes remained sharp and focused. 3 tours in the Amazon conflict. What are you thinking, Doctor? I'm thinking we need to change the rules of engagement, Martinez replied. The Virexians hunt because they've never been hunted themselves. They don't know what it's like to be prey. Eric understood immediately. You want to turn the tables on them. Exactly. Martinez pulled up images of Earth's apex predators on a screen. Wolves hunt in coordinated packs. Big cats use stealth and ambush. Humans? He smiled grimly. We're persistence hunters. We keep going when others would give up. Sam's eyes lit up. We could set traps, use the jungle to our advantage. Olivia joined them, bringing data from her lab. I've analyzed the biological samples from the Thelian database. The Virexians have excellent vision and hearing, but their sense of smell is weak, and they have no natural fear response because they've never needed one. Then we'll give them something to fear, Eric said. He turned to the group of rescued Thelians who huddled nearby. Captain Zeal, are there other prisoners on this moon? The blue-skinned alien nodded. This is one of their hunting preserves. They keep various species here for sport. Then we might have allies, Eric said. Sam, take a small team and see if you can locate any of these prisoners. Dr. Martinez, work with Olivia to develop tactics based on Earth predator behaviors. Alan, organize our security personnel into hunting teams. As the crew dispersed to their tasks, Eric walked to the ship's observation window. In the distance, he could see 3 Virexian ships landing in a large clearing about 5 miles away. Sam assembled her team, 4 security officers, and Ben, whose wilderness tracking skills would be valuable. They slipped into the jungle, moving silently through the dense undergrowth. The alien forest was both familiar and strange. Massive trees with purple leaves towered above them. Strange bird-like creatures with 6 wings fluttered between branches. The air was thick with humidity and sweet-smelling spores. After an hour of careful movement, Sam held up her hand, signaling the team to stop. Ahead, through the trees, they could see a fenced compound. Inside, various alien species were held in crude cages. No guards, Ben whispered. They must be confident no one would dare attack them. Their mistake, Sam replied. She studied the fence, noting the electronic lock on the main gate. Ben, can you disable that without triggering an alarm? Ben examined the lock from a distance. I think so. It looks similar to systems I've worked with before. They approached carefully. While Ben worked on the lock, Sam scanned their surroundings. The jungle seemed quiet. Too quiet. Hurry, she whispered to Ben. I don't like this. The lock clicked open. Sam pushed the gate, wincing at its slight creak. Inside the compound, alien faces turned toward them with expressions of fear and confusion. Sam approached a cage holding what appeared to be 4-armed, furred beings. We're here to help, she said slowly, hoping they had translation technology. One of the aliens stepped forward. You are not Virexian, it said through a crude translator device. We're humans, from Earth. The Virexians are hunting us too, but we're fighting back. Will you join us? The alien conferred with its companions, then turned back to Sam. I am Crix. My people are the Lenori. We have been here for many cycles. The Virexians, they hunt us for sport. Not anymore, Sam said firmly. We're going to teach these predators what it feels like to be prey. Back at the horizon, Martinez and Olivia had developed their strategy. Eric looked over their plan with growing approval. Wolves, big cats, and humans, Eric said. The 3 hunting styles we'll use against them. Martinez nodded. Team Wolf will use pack tactics, coordinated attacks from multiple directions. Team Jaguar will focus on stealth and ambush. And Team Human will use what we do best: observation, adaptation, and persistence. What about weapons? Alan asked. Their technology seems more advanced than ours. We'll use the jungle, Olivia replied. Sam knows how to make traps, and we have one advantage they don't. They've never had to fear anything before. They don't know how to handle being hunted. A commotion at the edge of camp caught their attention. Sam's team had returned, but they weren't alone. Behind them walked a diverse group of aliens, the freed prisoners. Eric greeted them, with zeal, translating. After introductions, Crix, the Lenori leader, approached Eric. Your warrior says you will fight the Virexians, Crix said. Many have tried, all have failed. Those others weren't human, Eric replied simply. We come from a world where we had to survive alongside predators just as fierce as the Virexians. We learned to hunt the hunters. As night fell, the first Virexian scouting party entered the jungle, moving with confident strides toward the downed, human ship. They had no way of knowing that for the first time in their species' history, they were being watched by predators more cunning than themselves. The hunt had begun. But this time, the humans were the hunters. The jungle moon grew dark as its sun dipped below the horizon. Strange glowing plants cast an eerie blue light through the undergrowth. Outside the Virexian camp, a tall, scaled alien with red markings raised his head and sniffed the air. This was Krav, the alpha of the hunting pack. Humans would later nickname him Scarface for the jagged scar that ran from his right eye to his jaw. The prey is near, Krav said to his hunting party. They think hiding in the jungle will save them. His mouth stretched into what might have been a smile, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Tonight we add humans to our trophy wall. Inside the human camp, Jake Rivera listened carefully to the recording of Virexian speech. As the communications officer and linguistic expert, he had been tasked with understanding their language. It's strange, Jake said to Commander Eric. Their language has dozens of words for hunt and kill, but nothing for retreat or fear. It's like these concepts don't exist for them. That's going to change, Eric replied. He turned to Dr. Lisa Woods, who was bent over a workbench, fashioning what looked like thin wire nets. How are the traps coming, Doctor? Lisa held up her creation. Finished the first batch. These are based on spiderweb designs, nearly invisible in the right light and strong enough to hold one of them temporarily. Good, Eric nodded. What about the other designs? The pit traps are set along their most likely approach routes, Lisa said, and Crix's people helped set up the snares. Sam Kelly entered the command tent, her face streaked with mud for camouflage. First Virexian hunting party is on the move. 8 of them heading this way. Team Jaguar is in position. Eric nodded. Remember, we're not trying to kill them if we can avoid it. We want to teach them what fear feels like. As the Virexian hunters moved through the jungle, they failed to notice the human shapes hiding in the trees above them. Team Jaguar, led by Sam, had adopted the hunting style of Earth's big cats, patient, silent, and deadly from above. Sam gave a bird call signal. In perfect unison, her team dropped nets onto 3 of the Virexians. The aliens roared in surprise as they found themselves tangled. The other 5 Virexians spun around, weapons raised, but Team Jaguar was already gone, vanishing into the trees, without a sound. What is this? Snarled one of the trapped Virexians. No prey fights like this. Krav slashed through the nets with his claws, freeing his packmates. Spread out, he ordered. Find them. The Virexians moved deeper into the jungle, now more cautious. They didn't notice the thin tripwires crossing the path. One by one, Virexians triggered snares that yanked them off their feet and left them dangling upside down from tree branches. From her hiding spot, Olivia watched with scientific interest. Look at their reactions, she whispered to Greg. Confusion, anger, but not fear. They still don't understand what's happening. In the Virexian command ship, the Council of Hunters received disturbing reports. The Alpha's hunting party had not returned. 2 more scouting parties had gone silent. Something was wrong. These humans are prey, insisted Council Leader Draz. All species are prey to Virexians. This is the natural order. Perhaps, said Elder Mentor Zex, the oldest member of the council. But these prey fight differently. They do not run. They do not cower. They hunt. Impossible. Draz slammed his fist down. We are the only hunters in the galaxy. Back on the jungle moon, Jake had made a breakthrough. Commander, I've deciphered enough of their language to send messages. Eric smiled. Good. It's time for the next phase. Psychological warfare. Jake recorded a series of messages in the Virexian language. The humans placed these recordings in different parts of the jungle, set to play at random intervals. The messages were simple but effective. We are watching you. Hunters become hunted. You are prey now. The effect on the Virexians was immediate. They had never experienced being stalked, being toyed with. They began to jump at shadows to look over their shoulders. It wasn't fear, not yet, but it was the beginning of doubt. Lisa had also prepared special darts tipped with a mild sedative, developed by Olivia. Team Wolf, led by Alan, used these to take down Virexians from multiple directions, working in perfect coordination like a wolf pack. When the Virexians woke, they found themselves back in their own camp, but changed. Their weapons were gone, and each had a mark painted on their scales, a simple red circle with a line through it, the human symbol for target. Krav roared in fury when he saw his marked warriors return. This is an insult. Send all hunting parties, kill every human. The Virexians stormed into the jungle in force, but now they were making mistakes. They were angry, confused, careless, emotions they had never needed to control before. They fell into pit traps. They triggered snares. They chased false trails that led to nowhere. And always, the humans melted away before they could be caught, only to strike again from an unexpected direction. On the third day, Sam led a daring raid on the Virexian camp itself. They took nothing of value. Instead, they left things behind. The skull of a large earth predator, a recording of a wolf howl, a drawing of a spider, and most disturbing to the Virexians, a Virexian ceremonial hunting knife stuck into a tree, with a human bootprint painted beside it. The message was clear. We were here. We could have killed you. We chose not to. When Krav found the knife, something unfamiliar stirred in his chest. His heartbeat quickened. His breathing became shallow. He didn't know it, but he was experiencing the first stirrings of fear. On the Virexian command ship, Elder Zex watched the reports with growing concern. These humans understand something we have forgotten, he said quietly. They know that true. Strength comes not just from being predators, but from surviving as prey. Nonsense, Draz snapped. Call for reinforcements. We will crush these humans and restore the natural order. Little did the Virexians know that Eric's distress call had reached Earth weeks ago. And now Captain Frank Miller's rapid response fleet was just days away. They brought with them specialists in every Earth predator tactic, and a plan to show the Virexians what real fear felt like. On the jungle moon, Eric looked up at the night sky. Soon the Virexians would learn that they had awakened something far more dangerous than they could imagine, a species that had evolved not just as predators, but as prey who had learned to fight back. The real hunt was just beginning. A low rumble filled the sky as 5 Earth ships broke through the clouds. Captain Frank Miller stood on the bridge of the lead vessel, the USS Defender, watching the jungle moon grow larger in the view screen. Status report, he ordered. Commander, Turner's last transmission came 12 hours ago, his second-in-command replied. They've been holding their own against the Virexians, but enemy reinforcements have arrived. Frank nodded grimly. His square jaw and steady eyes reflected years of military experience. Prepare the specialized units for deployment. I want Jaguar Team, Wolf Pack, Spider Squad, and Orca Unit ready to drop within 30 minutes. On the surface, Eric watched the Earthships descend with relief. For days, his crew had been playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the Virexians. They had scored victories, but the aliens had adapted somewhat to their tactics. The arrival of reinforcements couldn't have come at a better time. "Commander," Sam called out as she jogged into camp. Her face was scratched from close combat, but her eyes were bright with excitement. "Earth forces are landing near the eastern ridge." "Good," Eric said. "We'll rendezvous with them and coordinate our next move." Dr. Hannah Parker stepped off the transport shuttle and immediately began unpacking her equipment. As Earth's foremost expert in psychological warfare, she had been specifically requested for this mission. "Dr. Parker," Eric greeted her with a tired smile. "Glad you could join our hunting party." "Commander Turner," Hannah nodded. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her intense eyes missed nothing. "I've reviewed your reports. Fascinating work you've done here, but now it's time to escalate." Captain Miller joined them, accompanied by the leaders of the specialized units. "Commander Turner, excellent work surviving against these Virexians. Now let's show them what a full Earth response looks like." In the Virexian main camp, Krav paced restlessly. 3 hunting parties had failed to return. Others had come back, injured, telling wild stories about invisible traps and enemies that struck from nowhere. A young Virexian named Varrock approached cautiously. Unlike the others, Varrock had been watching the humans with curiosity rather than bloodlust. "Alpha Krav," Varrock said, "I have observed something strange about the humans." "Speak," Krav growled. "They protect the weaker species." "The Thelians, the Lenori, the humans defend them rather than hunt them. They work together, sharing strengths to overcome weaknesses." "Weakness," Krav spat. "Protecting the weak only makes you weak." "Then why are we losing?" Varrock asked quietly. Before Krav could respond, a scout burst into the camp. "New human ships have landed. Many humans with strange devices." Hannah's plan was already in motion. She had brought holographic projectors that now surrounded the Virexian camp. As night fell, the projectors activated, casting life-sized images of Earth's most terrifying predators into the jungle around the alien hunters. A massive great white shark seemed to swim through the air between trees. A venomous king cobra, 20 feet long, slithered across the ground. A pack of wolves moved in perfect formation. A polar bear reared up, 10 feet tall. "What are these creatures?" a Virexian warrior asked, backing away from the image of a crocodile that appeared to snap at his legs. "Earth's apex predators," Hannah's voice boomed from hidden speakers in the Virexian language. "Our teachers, our ancestors' nightmares, and now, yours." The holographic animals began to move in complex patterns, herding the confused Virexians into smaller and smaller spaces. They weren't real, but the Virexians had never seen anything like them. For the first time, they felt trapped, cornered, hunted. Meanwhile, Olivia had made another breakthrough. Working with the biological samples she had collected, she discovered that Virexians had an acute sensitivity to certain sound frequencies. "It's like a built-in alarm system," she explained to Eric and Frank. "In their natural environment, these frequencies probably never occurred, but we can generate them artificially." "And the effect?" Frank asked. "Disorientation, confusion, possibly pain," Olivia replied. "It won't incapacitate them completely, but it will make it harder for them to fight effectively." "Do it," Eric ordered. The specialized Earth units moved into position. Jaguar team, experts in stealth techniques, infiltrated the Virexian camp and planted Olivia's sonic devices. Wolfpack coordinated an attack from multiple directions, herding the Virexians like prey. Spider Squad set elaborate trap networks that could capture entire groups at once. And Orca unit, specialized in aquatic operations, used the river that ran alongside the Virexian camp to approach unseen, emerging from the water like the deadly marine predators they were named after. The Virexians found themselves under attack from all sides, confused by the holograms, disoriented by the sonic devices, and for the first time in their evolutionary history, feeling something very close to panic. Krav roared defiance, rallying his warriors. "Fight! We are Virexians. We are the apex predators of the galaxy." But his words rang hollow as he watched his hunters fall one by one to the coordinated human assault. The humans weren't fighting like prey anymore. They were fighting like something the Virexians had never encountered before. Predators who had once been prey, who understood both sides of the hunt. On the Virexian command ship, Elder Zex received the desperate communications from the surface. "We must reconsider our approach," he told the council. "These humans are unlike any species we have encountered." "Nonsense," Council Leader Draz insisted. "They are merely clever prey. I will lead the final hunt myself." As Draz prepared to join the battle, Varrock slipped away from the main Virexian camp. The young Virexian had been watching, learning, and thinking. Something about the humans' cooperative approach resonated with him in ways he didn't fully understand. He found a human patrol and surrendered himself, asking to speak with their leader. Eric and Frank listened as Varrock explained that not all Virexians agreed with the endless hunting. Some, especially younger ones, had begun to question their species' ways after watching how humans protected rather than exploited weaker beings. "Our history teaches that strength comes from dominating others," Varrock said. "But you humans show strength through cooperation. It is new thinking for us." "It's how we survived on Earth," Eric explained. "Our planet had predators that could easily kill individual humans. We learned to work together, to protect each other. That's how we became the apex species." Hannah joined them, her eyes bright with a new idea. "Commander, I think it's time for our ultimate weapon." "Which is?" Frank asked. "Mercy," Hannah replied simply. "Something entirely foreign to Virexian culture." And so, as Draz arrived on the jungle moon with the final Virexian hunting party, he found himself facing not just human weapons, but an idea more dangerous to the Virexian way of life than any physical threat. The concept that true strength could come from something other than domination. The final confrontation was about to begin. Dawn broke over the jungle moon, painting the sky in shades of purple and orange. Council Leader Draz stood at the edge of a large clearing, his hunting party assembled behind him. Across the open space, Commander Eric Turner and Captain Frank Miller waited with their officers. "This ends today," Draz called out, his voice carrying across the clearing. "You have fought well for prey, but the hunt always ends the same way." Frank stepped forward. "We're not here to fight you, Draz. We're here to talk." Draz laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the trees. "Virexians do not talk with prey. We hunt, we kill. This is the natural order." "Is it?" Eric asked. "Your young warrior Varrock doesn't seem to think so." At Eric's signal, Varrock stepped out from behind the human line. The young Virexian walked slowly to the center of the clearing. "What is this treachery?" Draz snarled. "You side with prey against your own kind?" "I side with wisdom," Varrock replied, standing tall despite his fear. "These humans could have killed me. Instead, they listened. They showed mercy, a concept we don't even have a word for in our language." Draz raised his weapon. "Then you will die with them." But before he could fire, a deep rumbling sound filled the air. The ground shook beneath their feet. From the jungle emerged a massive metal shape, a walking tank designed to resemble an earth elephant, complete with tusks that concealed powerful weapons. More shapes appeared behind the humans, robots modeled after bears, rhinos, and lions. They were piloted by humans but moved with the fluid grace of the animals they were designed to mimic. "We didn't want to use these," Frank said. "We hoped you would listen to reason, but if you want to see Earth's true predators, we're happy to show you." For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Draz's face. The Virexians had never seen such machines. Technology designed not just for function, but to inspire primal fear. Hannah stepped forward. "Your species evolved as apex predators," she said to Draz. "You never needed to develop empathy or cooperation because you never faced serious threats. But humans? We became apex predators despite starting as prey. We learned to work together," Eric continued. "To protect the weak because they might have strengths we need later. To show mercy because today's enemy might be tomorrow's ally." Draz raised his weapon again, but Krav suddenly stepped forward. The scarred alpha had been watching silently, his expression unreadable. "Wait," Krav said. "I wish to understand something." He turned to Eric. "3 times your warriors could have killed me. Why didn't they?" "Because killing you wouldn't solve anything," Eric replied simply. "We want peace, not victory. We want to end the hunting of intelligent species." "Peace," Krav repeated the unfamiliar concept. "What does the prey gain from peace with the predator?" "We're not prey or predators to each other in peace," Frank explained. "We're equals with different strengths." As they spoke, an elderly Vorexian emerged from the hunting party. His scales were faded with age, his movements slow but graceful. This was Elder Zex, who had come down from the command ship to see the situation for himself. "I have lived for 200 hunting seasons," Zex said, his voice raspy with age. "I have seen our empire grow as we conquered world after world. But never have I seen prey fight back like you humans. Never have I seen such adaptability." "That's our greatest strength," Olivia explained, joining the conversation. "Humans aren't the strongest, fastest, or most naturally armed species on our planet. But we adapt. We learn. We take the best traits of other species and make them our own." Zex nodded slowly. "The Council has reviewed your transmissions, your tactics, your technology. You could have destroyed our hunting parties many times over. Instead, you taught us something no species has ever taught Vorexians before." "What's that?" Eric asked. "The hunt is not everything," Zex said simply. Draz stepped forward, outrage on his face. "This is heresy. The hunt is our culture, our religion, our way of life." "A way of life that will end us," Zex countered. "Look around you, Draz. 7 hunting seasons ago, we encountered a species that refused to be hunted. Now we face humans, who turn our own tactics against us. How long before we face extinction because we cannot change?" The clearing fell silent as the Vorexians absorbed Zex's words. Even Draz seemed to have no response. Taking advantage of the moment, Ambassador Diane Foster stepped forward. She had arrived with the reinforcements, tasked with establishing diplomatic relations if possible. "Elder Zex," Diane said, her voice calm and measured. "Earth proposes a new relationship with the Vorexian Empire. Not as hunter and hunted, but as equals. We have much to learn from each other." "What do you propose?" Zex asked. "A galactic protection force," Diane replied. "Vorexians are natural. Hunters use those skills to protect weaker species rather than hunt them. Hunt actual threats to galactic peace instead." Krav tilted his head, considering. "The thrill of the hunt, but with purpose beyond sport?" "Exactly," Eric said. "Channel your predatory instincts into something constructive. Become guardians instead of hunters." 3 months later, a ceremony took place on a neutral space station. Representatives from a dozen species gathered to witness the signing of the Galactic Protection Treaty. Among them stood Zex and Varrock for the Vorexians, and Diane, Eric, and Frank for Earth. "The treaty is signed," announced the station's AI. "The Vorexian Empire agrees to end recreational hunting of intelligent species and join the newly formed Galactic Protection Force." As applause filled the chamber, Eric turned to Olivia and Greg, who stood nearby. "Do you think it will last?" Olivia smiled. "The Vorexians are adapting remarkably well. They've discovered that hunting actual threats gives them even more satisfaction than hunting peaceful species. And Varrock tells me that young Vorexians are eagerly studying Earth's predators." Greg added, "They're fascinated by the idea of predators that evolved alongside equally dangerous hunters." Later on the observation deck, Eric stood with Krav, looking out at the stars. The Vorexian's scar gleamed in the starlight. "Your people taught mine. A valuable lesson," Krav said. "For millennia, we believed strength came from being feared. You showed us that true strength comes from being respected." "That's humanity's gift to the galaxy," Eric replied. "We know what it means to be both predator and prey. We understand both sides of the hunt." As their ships prepared to depart, a new joint human Vorexian patrol ship launched from the station. Its mission, to track down the last rogue Vorexian, hunting parties still operating in distant systems. On its hull, a new emblem shone, an Earthwolf and a Vorexian hunter, standing side by side as guardians of the galaxy. The apex predators had found a new purpose: